Hey everyone, happy Friday or happy weekend or happy Monday, depending on when you watch this. I hope that this finds you well. I hope that you're able to enjoy last week's long weekend, however you were able to spend the time. It's been a bit of time since I provided you with an update on my learning about your most special community of learners and learning. So I wanted to share a few highlights. I'm still deeply into the entry planning process, but I figured it was a good time just to share some highlights with you and some updates. And as always, some gratitude with you for all of the information and welcome that I've been blessed to receive. So thank you first to those who participated in the Assistant Superintendent Entry Plan Thought Exchange. In total, we had 175 participants. Some of these individuals work across schools and levels, and they included 40 participants from the high school, 29 from the junior high, and 120 from the pre-K to 6. So thanks, everyone. While it's a little bit tricky determining the themes of pride and opportunity from this sample size, and it's not a perfect science, I did want to highlight that the following topics rose to the top. You shared with me that there is a need for greater professional support to address students with exceptional needs, specifically our multilingual learners and our students with disabilities. A lot of feedback around not losing sight of the whole child developmentally, socially, and emotionally was also highlighted. And lastly, one of the themes was a request that I remain mindful of the multiple initiatives and competing priorities that are existing in our space of continuous improvement in education right now, certainly really across our profession, but absolutely in Acton-Boxborough. In addition to Thought Exchange, I've had an opportunity to learn a lot every day. A great deal of learning has happened through connections with many, many educators individually and in small groups, including meetings that I've had with nearly all of the educators who serve in teaching and learning leadership positions, nearly all the educators who prioritized and completed research and design projects, R&Ds, during the summer of 2024. Some really, really incredible work took place this summer. Committee members who are serving on some of the various task forces underway right now, including the Elementary Budget Advisory Task Force, the Vision of a Graduate, just to name a couple there. Educators throughout the schools who have been participating in professional learning or who have just stopped by to check in and share. And I've really appreciated those informal check-ins with educators when they've just had something to share because I've been in the building. So thanks for that. I've also been reviewing lots of documentation, including budgets, school and district improvement plans, programs of study, surveys, agendas, presentations, emails, and lots of data connected with student outcomes. Over the last month, I've dedicated a great deal of time in partnership with Mary Ann Young, our multilingual language coordinator, and a consultant, Kelly Cooney, aiming to better understand how our community has responded to the exciting growth in our multilingual learner population, an area that I did not feel could wait until later in the year with the FY26 budget development underway. And because I heard from so many educators, the request to really pay closer attention to the needs of our educators and these kiddos who are bringing incredible language assets to our community. Over the next month, or really the next couple of weeks, I wanted to share that I'm going to be dedicating a great deal of time to being in classrooms with students and educators. This is being done with an eye and an ear on what the student and educator experience is like in our classrooms. At the junior and senior highs, I'm interested in getting a cross-curricular view, and we're visiting classrooms where multilingual learners are supported. Mary Ann Young is joining me for these visits. And at the elementary level, I'm interested in getting a pulse check on how the literacy block is going with the implementation of EL education in partnership with our foundational skills curricular resources. I know that the timing may not work out perfectly to always see EL in action, and that's completely fine. In the K to 6 schools, principals will determine who will be joining these visits, and they will communicate any details as logical. While I've already visited a great number of learning spaces, first of all, never enough. I will continue to do so since my efforts in the next few weeks are very concentrated as part of my entry plan. I wanted to just share and let you know that this is a real focus for me in the next 2 weeks. Please keep doing all that you're doing during these visits. Don't feel the need to stop instruction or feel I'll do my best not to interrupt what's happening. I just really enjoy being a part of the learning environment and getting a sense of the student and the teacher experience. Throughout January, I'll be finalizing my data collection for my entry plan and collating it into a findings report. Sitting here in December and acknowledging how much I've learned so far, but more importantly, how much more I have yet to learn, it's actually really hard to imagine feeling that this will be complete by that point. And I'm also thinking about my entry plan as more of a first step on a long journey that is a marathon and not a sprint. In addition to collating this data from the last several months, I'm excited to spend the second half of the 24-25 school year collaboratively moving forward the work that was identified in all of your school improvement plans as needing attention before I arrived. Some other topics that were underway include continuing to nurture the K-6 literacy work, including planning for the some additional science of reading training for next year, and an exciting return to focus on writing. This has been a theme that has surfaced with the new implementation of all of our core resources in literacy. And I wanted to let you know that there is a plan for support with integrating writing professional learning next year. Also, we know we have a core group of 5th and 6th grade teachers right now who are dipping their toe in the water with a new history social sciences resource, investigating history. So I'm excited to support the transition to this resource for hopefully a supported transition for next year. I've been helping the K-12 education, physical education and health department with their new transition to their 2023 health and PE frameworks. Working with the high school leadership team to identify or potentially develop a tool that the high school will use to document their units of study. Really continuing work to refocus on Tier 1 or core instruction as part of our MTSS efforts. Identifying a process by which we'll be developing a new student report card in K-6 that won't launch actually until fall of 2026. So this process will take the next year and a half, but I'm excited to begin that process in earnest starting in the after the new year. Continuing to explore curriculum and instructional tools utilized across our pre-K to 12 spectrum to support students, especially those with exceptional needs. And of course, I will aim to remain as nimble and responsive as possible to the needs that arise that aren't necessarily planned. Please know that with each experience, with each interaction that I've had, there has been an impact made. I hope that you'll continue to share candidly and remain open to the continuous learning that our partnership has the potential to yield in service to all of our growth and in service to the learning of our students. And I promise to do the same. Thank you all so much again for all of your support with this transition. I hope that this gave you a little bit of an insight into how I've been spending my time and the things that I plan to do with this information. And I encourage you to please reach back with any questions that you might have or any concerns. I've included most of the text of this video message in the email, so if you prefer to read it or go back to it for information, it's there for you. Thank you, everyone, and wishing you an incredible last 2 weeks if I don't see you in person before the last 2 weeks, really, of 2024, and hoping for all the goodness in the new year to come. Be well. Bye-bye.